How does a poor boy with no money or education build a car worth more than a private jet? This is the incredible story of Rolls-Royce, an empire of perfection born from an impossible dream. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the secrets behind the world's most legendary car. This is not just a story about cars, it is a story about success, about hard work, and about making the impossible possible. In the early 1900s, cars were still a very new invention. They were slow, they were uncomfortable, and they often broke down. If someone tried to travel 100 miles, which is about 160 kilometers, their car would probably stop at least 10 times. It was very frustrating. People did not believe that cars could ever replace good old-fashioned horses and carriages. Only a few very rich people owned cars, and most of them were not very happy with their purchase. These early cars were just full of problems. But two men from two completely different worlds were about to change history forever. One was a poor engineer with a brilliant mind. The other was a rich businessman with a powerful dream. Their names were Henry Royce and Charles Rolls. Henry Royce was born in 1863 in England. His family was very, very poor, and his early life was extremely difficult. His father worked as a mill operator, but he sadly died when Henry was just 9 years old. Because of this poverty, Henry couldn't even go to school like other children. Instead, he had to start working at a very young age. At the age of just 10, little Henry sold newspapers on the street and worked as a telegram messenger just so his family could survive. He had no money, no powerful friends, and it seemed no opportunities. But there was one thing he did have: curiosity. Henry loved machines. He was fascinated by them. He always wanted to know how things worked, how to fix them when they were broken, and most importantly, how to make them better. When he was 14 years old, he got a job as an apprentice. He worked for 14 hours every single day. His job was to fix street lights and electric motors. It was a small job, but Henry was different from the other workers. He did not just work, he studied. He looked at every machine so carefully, understanding every little detail. One day, he had a thought, a simple but powerful thought. He thought to himself, if I can fix all these machines, why can't I build my own? That single thought changed everything. With the little money he had saved, he started his own business in 1894. At first, he made small electric motors. But Henry was a perfectionist. This is a very important word. A perfectionist is someone who wants everything to be perfect. He did not just build machines, he built the best machines. Soon, his company was known for making some of the most powerful and reliable electric motors in all of England. But Henry was still not satisfied. He wanted to build something even bigger, something that could truly change the world. That's when he decided, I will build my own car. Now, on the other side of England, there was another man with a big dream. His name was Charles Rolls. Charles was born in 1877 into a very wealthy and powerful family. His father was a lord, and his family had everything you can imagine: money, power, and high social status. But Charles was different from other rich kids. He was not interested in big parties or a life of easy luxury. He was obsessed with cars. At that time, cars were still very rare, but Charles saw something that other people did not see. He believed with all his heart that cars were the future of transportation. He went to the famous Cambridge University, where he became one of the very first people in Britain to own a car. But Charles was not happy with the British cars he saw. He thought they were badly designed and poorly built. So he started traveling all across Europe and even to America looking for the best cars in the world. But everywhere he went, he found the same problem. The cars were just not reliable, not smooth, and not perfect. One day he told his friend, "I want to sell cars. But I don't want to sell just any cars. I want to sell the very best cars in the world." And then something incredible happened. He heard a story about a man named Henry Royce, a man who had built his own car, a car that was unlike anything else that existed. Charles Rolls knew he had to see this car for himself. The day was May 4th, 1904. A businessman named Henry Edmunds arranged a meeting between Charles Rolls and Henry Royce. The meeting took place at the Midland Hotel in the city of Manchester. When Rolls saw the car that Royce had built, the Royce 10 HP, he was shocked. He couldn't believe his eyes. This car was better than anything he had ever seen before. It was smooth. It was silent. It was powerful. And unlike other cars, it did not break down easily. After taking it for a test drive, Rolls turned to Royce and said, "This is the best car I have ever seen. I want to sell it." Royce agreed, and on that day, they made history. They decided to build a car company together. It would be called Rolls-Royce. This was not just a new company. This was the beginning of a revolution in luxury automobiles. They made a promise to each other and to the world. They said, "We will build the best car in the world, no matter how much it costs and no matter how long it takes." And just 3 years later, in 1907, they introduced a car that changed history. It was called the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost. When Rolls-Royce introduced the Silver Ghost, the world had truly never seen anything like it. Most cars at that time could barely go 100 miles without breaking down. But the Silver Ghost, it drove for 14 to 371 miles, that's 23 to 123 kilometers non-stop without a single problem. It was an amazing achievement. The car was so smooth and so silent that people said it felt like a ghost was driving it. That is how it got its name. The newspapers all called it the best car in the world. This car was so advanced, so luxurious, and so reliable that it quickly became the ultimate status symbol for the rich and powerful. Within just a few years, kings, queens, Hollywood celebrities, and the world's richest business people all started buying Rolls-Royce cars. It was no longer just a car. It was a clear symbol of power, of success, and of prestige. And that was only the beginning. The British royal family ordered one for $12,000 in 1911. Now at that time, you could buy a very big house for just $2,000. So this was an incredible amount of money. Hollywood stars wanted one to show their success. Billionaires and world leaders used Rolls-Royce cars to show their power. Rolls-Royce was no longer just a car. It was a symbol of status, luxury, and ultimate perfection. But there was one big difference. Most car companies wanted to sell as many cars as they possibly could. Rolls-Royce was different. Henry Royce believed in one simple but powerful idea. Take the best that exists and make it even better. If it does not exist, create it. So while other companies were mass-producing cars on fast assembly lines, Rolls-Royce did something completely different. Every single Rolls-Royce was made by hand. Every single part was tested and then retested to ensure it was perfect. Every car was built to last a lifetime. Most cars from that time lasted for maybe 5 to 7 years. But a Rolls-Royce, some models from 100 years ago, are still running perfectly today. People started to say, a Rolls-Royce is not just a car, it's an investment. And they were right. Even today, a well-maintained Rolls-Royce from the 1950s can sell for millions of dollars. Then something unexpected happened. In 1914, World War I started. The British Army needed powerful and reliable vehicles for the war. They turned to Rolls-Royce for help. Henry Royce designed and built the Rolls-Royce armored car, which became one of the most legendary war vehicles in history. Even Winston Churchill, the future Prime Minister of Great Britain, used a Rolls-Royce armored car. It was so strong and tough that soldiers would say, "It feels like driving a moving fortress." After the war, Rolls-Royce was not just a luxury brand anymore. It was a symbol of incredible power and engineering excellence. But Henry Royce was still not satisfied. He had built the best car in the world, but now he wanted to build something even bigger. He wanted to build airplane engines. In 1915, Rolls-Royce designed its first airplane engine. By the time of World War II, Rolls-Royce engines were powering more than half of all British fighter planes. One of the most famous planes, the Supermarine Spitfire, had a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. This plane played a huge role in winning the war. The Rolls-Royce brand was now unstoppable. They were not just making the best cars on land, they were making the best engines for the sky. After World War II, Rolls-Royce wanted to build something truly extraordinary, something that no other car company could ever hope to match. In 1950, they introduced the Rolls-Royce Phantom 4. Only 18 of these cars were ever made. Every single Phantom 4 was custom-built for its owner. The British royal family was the first to buy one. At that time, a Rolls-Royce Phantom 4 cost $24,000, which was enough money to buy 12 normal cars. Even today, a Phantom 4 can sell for over $2 million at auctions. A Rolls-Royce is not just a car. It is a statement. It tells the world, "I have made it. I am successful. I am powerful." But why? Why does a Rolls-Royce cost so much money? Why do billionaires wait for years just to own one? Let's go a little deeper into the crazy world of Rolls-Royce, a world where perfection is everything and the price tag does not matter. So why is a Rolls-Royce so expensive? Well, most cars today are built in big factories. Robots and machines do most of the work. The goal is simple: build thousands of cars every day. But at Rolls-Royce, there are no robots. There is no mass production. Every single Rolls-Royce is made by hand. A single car takes between 6 months and 1 year to build. Even the paint takes 7 days to apply layer by layer. Some customers want 24-karat gold dust mixed into the paint, which makes the car shine like pure gold in the sunlight. It is truly beautiful. When you step inside a Rolls-Royce, it feels like stepping into a 5-star hotel on wheels. Every material you touch inside is 100% real and of the highest quality. The leather, for example, takes 2 weeks to prepare. It comes only from cows that are raised in cold climates. Why? So their skin doesn't have any insect bites. The metal you see is solid aluminum and steel. There is no cheap plastic anywhere. The goal is simple: make everything perfect. Some customers ask for very special things like gold or diamonds inside their Rolls-Royce. One billionaire wanted a dashboard that was studded with diamonds. So what did Rolls-Royce do? They crushed 1,000 real diamonds into a fine powder and mixed it into the paint for the dashboard. The cost for just the dashboard was over $100,000. And then there is the Starlight headliner. This is one of Rolls-Royce's most famous features. The roof of the car has tiny fiber optic lights that look exactly like a real night sky. Customers can even choose the exact pattern of stars from the night they were born. The cost for this is between $10,000 and $15,000, just for the stars inside the car. But if you think that is expensive, wait until you hear about the most exclusive Rolls-Royce ever made. In 2021, Rolls-Royce shocked the world. They revealed a car that was so exclusive, so expensive, that only 3 people in the world would ever own one. It was called the Rolls-Royce Boat Tail. The price, $28 million. That is more expensive than a private jet. It's more expensive than a luxury yacht. So what makes this car so special? The back of the car, which is called the rear deck, was inspired by luxury yachts. It opens up like beautiful butterfly wings. Inside, there is a special champagne fridge designed to hold a very expensive champagne that costs $6,000 per bottle. There is a handmade umbrella hidden in the car door with a matching leather case that is worth $8,000. And the inside of this car, the bespoke interior, means that every single detail from the seats to the clock was designed specifically for each of the three owners. This car is not just a vehicle, it is a true work of art. And guess what? The first owner of the Rolls-Royce boat tail is rumored to be the famous music stars Jay-Z and Beyoncé. A normal person cannot just walk into a Rolls-Royce dealership and buy a car. It does not matter if you have millions of dollars. Rolls-Royce wants the right customers. In fact, Rolls-Royce sometimes rejects buyers if they feel the person does not match the brand's luxury image. So who owns a Rolls-Royce? The royal family, of course. The Queen of England used a Rolls-Royce for over 60 years. Celebrities like Drake, Jay-Z, and Post Malone own them. And of course, billionaires. The CEO of Google, Jeff Bezos, and even the Sultan of Brunei, who owns over 600 Rolls-Royces. Some of these cars are so rare that their prices double or even triple over time. For example, a Rolls-Royce Phantom from 1960 that originally cost about $20,000 can now sell for over $2 million. A Rolls-Royce is not just a car. It is a statement, a symbol of success, a dream turned into reality. Some people dream of owning a Rolls-Royce. Some people work hard for it. And a few people, they make it happen. You see, a Rolls-Royce is not just about luxury. It is about a mindset. It is about ambition and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Now let's uncover some of the most mind-blowing features of a Rolls-Royce that no other car has. These are the secrets behind the $35 billion Rolls-Royce empire. This part of our story is not just about cars. It's about you, your dreams, and your future. A Rolls-Royce is not built for everyone. It is built for those who refuse to settle for less than the best. And that is why every Rolls-Royce is crafted with unbelievable attention to detail. Do you know why billionaires love Rolls-Royce so much? Because when you sit inside one, it feels like the whole world has stopped. It is completely quiet. Rolls-Royce spent millions of dollars in research just to make the engine completely silent. They add 300 pounds of soundproofing material to the car so that you hear nothing, not even the wind outside. They even put special foam inside the tires to reduce road noise. When you drive a Rolls-Royce, you feel calm, powerful, and unstoppable. And perhaps that is how true success should feel: smooth, effortless, and unshakable. They call it the magic carpet ride. This is $500,000 of pure comfort. Have you ever felt like you were floating on air? That is what people say it feels like to drive in a Rolls-Royce. The car has a special suspension system that uses cameras to scan the road ahead 500 times every second. It then adjusts automatically. This means that even if you drive over a pothole at 80 miles per hour, you will feel almost nothing. The car is always perfectly balanced, no matter how fast you go. This is not just technology, this is engineering at its finest. Because when you are successful, you do not let the small bumps in the road of life slow you down. You keep moving forward smoothly, effortlessly, and with confidence. And what about the $25,000 umbrella? This really shows the Rolls-Royce mindset. What kind of car has an umbrella hidden inside the door? Only a Rolls-Royce. And this is not a regular umbrella. It is made from special water-resistant and heat-proof material. It even has a built-in drying system in the door, so it is always ready for you. It costs $25,000, which is more than some people's cars. Why? Because Rolls-Royce believes that everything, even a simple umbrella, should be absolutely perfect. And that is the mindset of the ultra-successful. Do not accept what is average, demand excellence in everything you do. Some people buy regular cars. Some people buy luxury cars. And then there are the billionaires who buy history, like the Rolls-Royce Sweptail, which cost $13 million. It was built for one secret billionaire and took 4 years to design and build. It was inspired by luxury yachts and private jets. This is not just a car, it is a mobile piece of art. Or the Rolls-Royce Phantom from 2023, which costs about $600,000. This is the ultimate luxury car for billionaires. It can have a gold-plated dashboard worth $30,000 and is made with the rarest materials in the world. For most people, this car is a distant dream. For billionaires, it is just another beautiful object. They focused on quality, not quantity. They made sure every part was tested thousands of times. They made Rolls-Royce a symbol of power, success, and exclusivity. And over the next 100 years, Rolls-Royce became the ultimate status symbol. Today, the company is worth around $35 billion, and the price of a Rolls-Royce can be anywhere from $500,000 to nearly $30 million. The lesson here is simple. If you focus on excellence, success will always follow. Do not try to compete, just be the best. Rolls-Royce does not compete with Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Mercedes because they are in a league of their own. The lesson for us is do not try to be better than others. Become so good that no one can compare to you. And remember, success takes time. A Rolls-Royce takes 6 months to 1 year to build. The company took over 100 years to become the best in the world. The lesson is do not expect success to happen instantly. Be patient. Work hard and trust the process. Set high standards for yourself. Most cars are built in a few hours. A Rolls-Royce is built by hand with the finest materials. The lesson is do not accept average results. Set high standards for yourself, and do not stop until you reach them. And finally, be exclusive. Not everyone can buy a Rolls-Royce. The lesson is, you do not need to please everyone. Focus on your unique skills, your craft, and your passion. The right people, the right opportunities will find you. A Rolls-Royce is so much more than a car. It is a symbol for those who never ever settle for less. It represents perseverance, excellence, and the amazing power of dreams. If you want a Rolls-Royce life, you must work like Henry Royce, always obsessed with perfection. You must think like Charles Rolls, always aiming for the very top. And you must never settle for anything less than your best. Because one day, when you achieve your own version of success, you will be able to smile and say to yourself, "I made it." Now I have a question for you. If you could own any Rolls-Royce in the world, which one would it be?